Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
First of all, Shukrana Guruji for making me a part of this beautiful Sangat. Shukrana for giving me this opportunity to share my Sangat for the Satsang for the very first time. And Guruji ji koi pul chuk ho jwe te maafi. My journey or the beginning of this journey would be incomplete if I don't take two names, Rashmi Aunty and Ashwini Uncle. It so happened that I was at a point in my life where, my belief was shattering. My faith in God was shattering. Everything in my life that could go wrong was going wrong. It started in March of 2021, and everything from that point onwards was just going downhill for me and my family. And, a lot happened, and I was coming to a point where, I didn't want to light the diya. And I'm a person who fasts like at least 2-3 times a week, who would light up diya in the morning, who would light up jyot in the evening. I would read my chalisas, I would read, aartis, do aarti in the evening, do aarti in the morning, read my chalisas. And I was that kind of person. And when, my life was going downhill, I was just wondering, why am I doing this? What's the purpose? If you are not there watching over me and my family and my mother, she's been a believer, and I have, grown up watching her worship God every single day, evening and morning. And that has, been a part of my upbringing as well. But coming to a point where, everything is going downhill, you feel, he's not there. There's no God, there's no Mata Rani. Nobody is there to watch over you or care for you. But then it so happened that I met Ashwini Uncle and Rashmi Aunty, and I can't thank you enough for making me, a part of this beautiful Sangat, for associating or establishing my connection with Guruji. It's just been upwards since then. My journey is just, it has just begun. It so happened in May of last year, we met them after, 10-12 years easily. My husband and Ashwini Uncle used to work in the same company, and we coincidentally lived in the same community as well. But then one fine day, they decided to pack their bags and go back to India. And we never met them after that. But it so happened that we met them at a restaurant casually, like 10 years later. And they say, we have a satsang at our home. Couple of days later, maybe a week later. And he insisted that we come. And I was so shocked and surprised. I'm like, we have not met in so many years, to say the least. And, he's inviting us to to the satsang at his home. And he was all praise about Guruji. He was just constantly raving and raving about Guruji. And he's like, I'm kind of a person who doesn't go to any mandir, who doesn't believe in any Guruji or Babajis, but, you have to come. So I was like, okay. And when you are at that point in your life where everything is just going downhill, there's that ray of hope, that gives you, some strength to live and, deal with whatever is happening around you. And I thought of it that way. And I was like, it was on a long weekend. I was like, let's just go. We reached quite late. The satsang was almost over. Maybe last 15-20 minutes of the satsang was left. But it felt so blissful. It felt so amazing, sitting in that darbar for like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, there is something. Let's just continue. And couple of days later, on 31st May, was Guruji's Samadhi Divas. And we used to live like 10 minutes from this mandir. So I was like, let's just go and see how it feels. And again, it felt incredible to be, just sit in his darbar, meditate, just think of or listen to the shabads. Even though you don't understand everything, just listening to the shabads gave me a strength to deal with, whatever was happening around me. This was 31st May, and 1st June, morning of 1st June, like 4 or 5ish in the morning, Guruji ने दर्शन दिए. मैंने ऐसा सुना है और ऐसा पढ़ा है in all the books that have been written by Guruji's संगत, that Guruji ड्रीम में नहीं आते हैं, वो दर्शन देते हैं आपको. तो I felt so it just happened like 4 or 5 in the morning. He just he gave me his darshan, and he tapped on my shoulder and he said, awake. He says awake, and I see my dad sitting there with him, next to him on the floor, just like Manish uncle is sitting like that. He was just sitting by the wall, awake. And seeing my dad, I just burst into tears. And I had my daughter sleeping next to me, who was 3 years old, and my husband. I was like, I don't want to wake them up. I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't want to wake them up. But I just burst into tears, and I'm just like crying like anything. And then he taps me again, taps at my back again, and he says, "Hun sab changa hovega." That's all I remember. He was wearing a blue chola. My dad was wearing a white kurta pajama, sitting on the floor. And that's it. And I'm like, there has to be something. I have not met these people in last 10 years. They invited me to Satsang at their house. And then, I came to your darbar today. And next morning, you gave me your darshan, and you said everything's going to be okay. That just gave me a strength, a ray of hope. Things are going to be okay from now on. And from that point onwards, to tell you the least, my journey, although it's just the beginning, it's been amazing. I have no words to describe what Guruji has done for me and my family. From the day of darshan, 15 days later, my mother had to leave her own home. My mother and brother, they had to leave their own home and live, wherever. If I go into, those details, that's going to take me forever. So I'm going to skip that part. But she returned to her own home 15 days later, since the time, he gave me his darshan. 15 days later, my mother and brother came back home. And there was another, important milestone in this list on 29th of July. So 29th of July, we had a court date, and we were wondering, what's going to happen. And I really wanted, everything to go away that very day itself. Although that didn't happen, but that same night or morning, Guruji again gave me darshan, and he did not say anything. But in my heart, I felt, it has to mean something. Things didn't go our way, but at least they didn't go negatively as well. So I took it positively. And Guruji, like everybody says, mango nahi manno. And from the day one, I have not asked him for anything. I have just had that faith in him that he's going to make things okay. Although that didn't happen on 29th of July, but come 16th September, he made everything okay. Just everything. And I just have no words to describe what he's done for us, for me, my family. It's just amazing since then. I have a lot of small satsangs as well, but this is for me, the biggest turning point of my life, where the very same day he gave me darshan in the morning, and he said everything's going to be okay. And since that very day, everything has been okay. So, just have faith in him, just trust him. Do not ask for anything. Like Manish uncle also said, just keep your head down, sir neeva rakho. Jidda Guruji chande hai, odda hi hovega, and he will make sure, everything he does is going to be okay for you. So thank you, Manish uncle, for giving me this opportunity. While I was coming here, my husband said, don't cry, and I made sure that I don't cry, because every time I think of it, forget speaking about, this journey and how my life has been for last 2.5 years, over 2.5 years, thinking of it makes me cry. And each and every day that I've come to this temple, I have not went home without crying. But today, I think he's given me the strength to not crying while speaking to his Sangat. So thank you, Guruji. Shukrana, 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 and Shukrana to his Sangat.